Hi, everybody. It's Professor Mitchell. This is the last section of Chapter 2 and probably our last short video that I know of for a while. This is Section 2.6 on scatterplots. Scatterplots provide a picture of the relationship between two data points that are paired together. So my favorite off the top of my head example, and I'm always coming back to exam scores, that's my life, right? So let's say that I wanted to study the relationship between how many hours a student studies for an exam, and we'll call that X, and their score on the exam, we'll call that Y. So what they mean by data that's paired together is that it's important to keep the X value and the Y value together for a specific student. So let's say student number 1 studied for 2 hours and got a 70. I would want to keep those numbers together. Student number 2 studied for 4 hours and got a 75. I would want to keep those two numbers together. So the dependent variable, which is placed on the vertical axis of the scatter plot, that's usually called Y, although it doesn't have to be, is influenced by changes in the independent variable, usually called X, which is placed on the horizontal axis. So here's an example. What we're looking at here is the relationship between the size of a TV and the price of the TV. So you can see that TVs that are, let's say, less than 50 inches tend to be pretty inexpensive, $500 or less. But as they get to be bigger than 50 inches, then the price goes up into, close to $1,000 or even more. So if you were creating this scatter plot by hand, what you would have would be a list of data. You would have the list of the TV sizes, and then for each TV size, right next to it, you would have the price of that specific TV. So you would need to plot them like on graph paper. Of course, your book likes Excel, so they're showing you how to do it in Excel. By the way, here is the list that I was talking about. So there's the sizes of all the TVs and their prices, okay? So as usual, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on the Excel instructions. You're welcome to, pause the video and play around with it. I figure it's good enough to just do them by hand for now. And I've mentioned to you before that I am going to actually show you some things on Excel, but I'll probably do it later in the semester. A line chart is a scatter plot in which the data points in the scatter plot are connected with line segments. Now, it doesn't always make sense to do that. For example, I don't know that it would make, no, actually I changed my mind. It might make some sense for this, all right? If you were to connect these, it kind of looks to me like the relationship between the price of a TV and its size. It's kind of hard to tell from, this is a pretty small sample. It's definitely not linear, meaning I wouldn't be able to draw a straight line through these points and come all that close to too many of the points. So what might be better would be something like quadratic, like a parabola, or could even be exponential, all right? So there's the instructions for doing this on Excel. Okay, line charts are often used with time series data. So here we have Disney's revenue as a function of time, starting in about, looks like 1998. They made about $24 billion, going up to, it looks like the most recent year we have data for is 2017, when they made about $55 billion. So Disney's doing okay, all right? Notice when graphing a time series, the convention is to place the time data on the horizontal axis. Here are the instructions for creating a line chart on Excel. And finally, we have Sparklines. I will confess this is something I'd never heard of before. Sparklines are small line charts created in a worksheet cell to provide visual representation of time series data. So the example that they're showing you here, this looks like the unemployment rate example that we looked at. I think that was earlier in this chapter. Yeah, that was in the contingency table section, maybe. I don't remember. I know we've seen it before. All right. So these sparklines are showing you that for all 4 of these states, the trend in the unemployment rate has been that it's gone down. All right. One of these that looks a little different from the others is Texas. They did not have quite as dramatic a decline going from, in fact, it didn't decline from 2015 to 2016. All the other states did. But over this 4-year period, they did all decline. And that's it for section 2.6. Nice short video. So next time, we will start working on chapter 3.